So I've been keeping fish for over 5 years now, and in that amount of time, I've learned a couple things I should apply to every aquarium that ensures minimal fish deaths. I probably only have a fish die every 4 to 6 months now, which is actually pretty good considering when I was starting out in the hobby, the first couple years I would have like a fish die every week or two. So if you're having fish die like every month or something like that, and it's just costing you a bit of money or motivation, well, today I'm going to give you 3 tips to prevent your fish dying a lot of the time. So these are 3 things that just ensure the healthiest fish, therefore they live the longest. So without any further ado, let's dive straight into the video. Alright, so the first tip is to have plenty of live plants in your tank. Live plants are crucial, especially if you've got a bunch of fish in your tank. In the wild, there's always some live plants growing in the rivers or creeks, and first off, it can give your tank a really natural look, but it also provides lots of hiding places for your fish, and live plants also act as a biological filtration. The plants will feed on the ammonia and nitrates, and therefore it'll basically purify your water and also oxygenate it. So when the plants are photosynthesizing, meaning they're taking in the light, they're also then creating oxygen for your fish. If you have enough plants in your tank, you don't even need aeration or much water movement. But for now, let's just say, just add like a couple fast growing plants, do some research on the best beginner plants if you've never kept live plants before. But if you don't have fish that eat live aquarium plants, then just go for it, because you're gonna get the fever like I have now. All my aquariums are heavily planted, but trust me, it's an awesome little side to the hobby that I think everyone should enjoy at one point. So if you think you're ready to jump into planted aquariums, give it a shot. It's definitely affected my fish's health, and therefore probably is leading to less fish deaths in the long term. All right, tip number 2 is to have an effective harvest of beneficial bacteria. So if you didn't know, beneficial bacteria is a bacteria that lives in your aquarium, and it basically turns all the nasties in the water and makes it safe for the fish. Every aquarium needs beneficial bacteria for the fish to actually survive. Otherwise, the ammonias and the nitrates, which are the nasties in the water, will overtake the aquarium and the fish will not be able to breathe and probably suffocate. Basically, what I'm saying is you need to have a great home for your beneficial bacteria. This bacteria lives on surfaces in your aquarium, not the water, but the surfaces, like the surface of your ornaments. Your plants are a massive one, but also your substrate. What I recommend doing in your aquarium is to have layers of substrate and make it deep. So substrate is like your gravel or your sand, and I think it really helps with the harvest of beneficial bacteria to have a really deep substrate. I recommend for a nano aquarium down to 5 gallons, have like a 3 to 6 centimeter thick layer of substrate. Therefore, it's easier to plant in your aquarium plants, but also more room for the beneficial bacteria to colonize, reproduce, and therefore make the aquarium self-sustaining. In your filter is also where a lot of beneficial bacteria colonizes as well. Make sure you have something porous in your filter, like coarse gravel or crushed lava rock, just for your beneficial bacteria to colonize. And I also recommend having somewhere in that filter definitely coarse sponge. That just helps a lot with the beneficial bacteria and the filtering of the aquarium. But nonetheless, what I'm basically saying is that make sure there's plenty of places for your beneficial bacteria to colonize. Make sure there's lots of surfaces in your aquarium, which means ornaments, wood, plants, and a deep substrate of sand or gravel. All right, now the third thing I do that definitely prevents a lot of fish deaths is underfeeding. I reckon it's way more important to underfeed than overfeed. If you overfeed, then you'll get ammonia spikes and high nitrates in your aquarium, and it's just horrible to control because the fish food will just cloud up the whole aquarium and make it toxic for your fish. So therefore, underfeeding is crucial in any fish tank. The schedule I feed all my fish every day is I only feed them once a day and as much food as they'll eat in 2 minutes. Otherwise, I'll just net the rest out, or I just won't feed them the next day. Also, if you've got very small fish, then you probably only need to feed your fish every other day. So just come up with a schedule, keep testing your water, seeing how it reacts to those feedings. Once you find a good schedule, stick to it, and as long as you're consistent and you're not feeding them more than they need, then you should be absolutely fine. And if you are currently feeding them probably more than you need, that's probably why you're getting a lot of fish deaths, or at least contributing to a lot of those deaths. Right now, a quick bonus tip. I've only recently been getting into this sort of mindset, but it's to do 25% weekly water changes on all your aquariums. You might just have 1, you might just have 2, you might have 10. I've got 8, and I try to do 1 water change every week on each tank. 25%. Usually any more, your fish will get a little stressed. It's not really great. But if you do weekly water changes, you just see, it'll just prevent any ammonia or nitrate spikes in your tank, especially if you don't have many live plants in your tank. I reckon weekly water changes are really important, and it'll definitely result in a healthier environment for your fish. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then click any of the videos on the screen now. But besides that, have an awesome day, everyone. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments down below. But have an awesome one, and I'll see you all in the next video.